What's up, everybody? Dwayne Bryant here from wagertalk.com with another edition of my MLB trend report. It is Tuesday, September 19th. I've got 6 more undefeated trends for you that are active on today's MLB card. These 6 trends are a combined 63-0, and we're going to get right to them. But guys, first, as always, a reminder, please never make a bet based on any single trend, angle, or piece of information. The trends I'm giving you here are only one trend in each game in which there are many trends, some pointing to both sides, some pointing over, some pointing under. What you have to do if you're going to incorporate trends as part of your handicapping process, you have to weigh out what you feel are all the relevant trends for a game and see if they're weighed more heavily to one side or the other. But never take the trends in this video and make a bet just based on these trends. Let's move into trend number 1. And we are going to look at Braxton Garrett. We're going to go back to September 12th of 2022. We're going to look at him when the team lost its previous game against the current opponent. So again, lowercase p is their previous game. Capital P, like we see here, references the previous game against the current opponent. And the total is less than 8.5. Now, this is a trend that was shared with me by my friend. He goes by Uno. You can follow him on X or Twitter at I Hate Your Bookie. And guys, if you're a sports bettor, and you obviously are because you're watching this video, if you're not following a guy if you're on Twitter, if you're on X, and you're not following a guy named I Hate Your Bookie, then I don't know what to tell you. But this guy does excellent SDQL work. He is definitely worth the follow. So this is Braxton Garrett going back to September 12th of last year when his team lost its previous game against this opponent, and the current total is set at less than 8.5, and we'll hit the SDQL button, and you'll see that despite being an average underdog of about plus 115, Garrett and the Marlins are a perfect 8-0, and they won these games by more than 2.5 runs per game on average for a very nice 114.4% ROI. And this is active today. Garrett and the Marlins at home against the Mets. Now, what I will say is I found a lot of trends that are active on this game for both sides. So this is definitely a game where if you're going to bet it and you're going to use trends as part of your handicapping, you definitely need to dig in and see which side is weighed more heavily with those trends. Because trust me, this is not the only trend in this game, and some of them favor the Mets or say to fade the Marlins. So definitely do your homework on that game in particular. So let's move to trend number 2. And guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell for notifications so you will be notified as soon as I drop one of these videos on this channel. For trend number 2, we're going to look at the Milwaukee Brewers. We're going to go back to August 21st of last year when they're facing a division rival. Series game is greater than 1, so it's not the first game of the series. And the team lost its previous game against this opponent. And now we know that that game was in this series because its series game is greater than 1. So they lost the previous game against this opponent, and the line in that game was less than minus 110, which means the Brewers were favored by more than minus 110 in that last game. And again, this is another trend that was shared with me by Uno at I Hate Your Bookie on X. So we'll hit the SDQL button, and you'll see that the Brewers are a perfect 11-0 in this spot, winning by more than 3 runs per game. Average line of about minus 168. decent ROI of 60.9%, but actually, even though there's 2 losses on the run line trend is slightly, the run line ROI, I should say, is slightly higher at 67.3%. And you can see that this is active today. The Brewers on the road against the Cardinals. Brewers suffered a 1-0 loss in the series opener yesterday, which makes it fit this criteria today. We're going to move right into trend number 3. And if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up to like this video. I would greatly appreciate that. For trend number 3, we're going to look at the Cleveland Guardians. We're going to go back to April 8th of this year. Again, whenever you reference the date, the 4-digit year comes first, followed by the 2-digit month, and then the 2-digit date. Cleveland was favored, or is the favorite, against a conference opponent, which for them means an American League opponent. If they lost the previous meeting with this team as a favorite, so L for loss, F for favorite, and the capital P again refers to the team's previous game against this opponent. So they lost as a favorite against this opponent the last time they played them, and they also committed no errors in that game. Now, this was a trend that was shared with me by some other friends of mine, the guys at Your Best Bet. You can follow them on X at YBB Sports Data. Again, just like I Hate Your Bookie, these guys at YBB Sports Data do excellent SDQL work, and they are definitely worth the follow on X. So we'll hit the SDQL button, and you'll see that the over-under is 0-10, no overs, 10 unders. These games stayed under by more than 3 runs per game on average, and I love when I have an under trend with a huge margin like that, because that's not easy to accomplish, especially when the average total is 8.4. So you can see down here, the average score was Guardians 3.3, opponents 2. So only a 5.3 run per game average total in these games. A 90.1% ROI on the under. And this is active today with the Guardians on the road against the Royals. So let's move into trend number 4. And guys, just a reminder to watch out for my football trend report for this coming weekend. That report comes out on Thursdays on this channel. NFL and college football trends. Don't forget to check those out on Thursday. For trend number 4, we're going to look at Patrick Sandoval. And all 3 of these parameters are tied into his previous start. See, they start with a lowercase s, and that refers to the starter's previous start. Now, you'll notice there's no season or date parameter here. So this is Sandoval's entire career. The database is going to search for every start that qualifies in his career because we didn't specify a date or a season. So we're looking at Sandoval when in his last start, it was a non-quality start, meaning he either went less than 6 innings and or he gave up more than 3 runs. That previous start was against a division opponent, and he struck out less than or equal to 4 batters in that previous start. So previous start, starters, strikeouts less than or equal to 4. We'll hit the SDQL button. And you'll see that despite a line of almost even money at about plus 108.5, Sandoval and the Angels are 0-12 in this spot, losing by nearly 3.5 runs per game on average, for a very nice 81.8% ROI if you faded Sandoval and the Angels in this spot. And you can see that it is active today, Sandoval and the Angels visiting the Tampa Bay Rays. It's also not a bad over-under spot. 3 overs, 9 unders, 75% to the under, going under by an average of 1.5 runs per game. That's a decent under trend as well to keep an eye on. So let's move to trend number 5. And guys, if you have any trends or angles that you found on today's games, drop them in the comments. If you have any trends or angles that you want me to look up for today's games, drop those in the comments as well. I will get to them when I can. So for trend number 5, we're going to look at Kento Maeda. We're going to go back to April 14th of 2021 when his team lost its previous game. And the line for that previous game was less than 135 or plus 135, which basically means they were not an underdog of plus 135 or more. And the current line is greater than minus 190, which basically means they are a favorite of at least minus, if I'm reading this right. And again, whenever you look at these lines on this in these queries, and you basically have to flip the less than or greater than sign to make it make sense, because the database doesn't see these numbers as numerals. They, or they see them, I should say, they see them as numerals, not betting lines. So in a betting line, greater than minus 190, you would think that means, well, then they must be a favorite of higher than minus 190, but that's not the case. It's just the opposite. This means that they were, the line in the game was actually less than minus 190. So it means that they were not a favorite of minus 190 or more. And again, this is another trend that was shared with me by at I Hate Your Bookie on X. So we'll hit the SDQL button, and you'll see that Maeda and the Twins, despite being an average favorite of about minus 114, they are 0-10 straight up in this spot, losing by just over 2 runs per game on average. A very nice 100.3% ROI, fading Maeda and the Twins here. And you can see that this is active today. Maeda and the Twins in Cincinnati against the Reds. And that will bring us to the 6th and final trend today. And guys, I do have to tell you about a couple of specials, actually more specials going on over on my page at dbbets.com. We have a special that's going on right now that is site-wide, and you can see it right here on the right-hand side, Wager Talk Specials, 30-day NFL and college football combo special. Basically, you get through Monday, September 25th, you can get 30 days of everything I release in NFL and college football for $199. That's under $100 per sport. Comes out to just $3.31 per day per sport. So check that out. Now, I also have a couple of special deals going on of my own that are personalized just to me. And one of those is you can save $100 on my 30-day all-access pass by using coupon code DB30 at checkout. Or you can save $1,000 on my 1-year all-access pass using coupon code DB365 at checkout. And basically, how you take advantage of those deals is you just scroll down my page at dbbets.com, and when you get to the header that says long-term and seasonal passes, right under that it says all sports pass. You just click on the drop-down box and you either select 30-day pass and then use coupon code DB30 at checkout, or you select the 1-year pass and use coupon code DB365 at the checkout page, and you will get those discounts. So again, the 30-day or the 1-year all access, which means you get every play I release in every sport during the 30 days or during the 1 year. The 1 year would cover NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, and Major League Baseball. I believe that works out with the coupon to about $2.75 a day to get my biggest, strongest plays for an entire year. Definitely the best deal you will ever get at dbbets.com. So check it out. Take advantage of one of those deals while you still can. let's wrap this up with trend number 6. And for trend number 6, we're going to look at the Phillies this season when they lost their starter's previous start. And in that previous start, the starter had a strikeouts per walk ratio, SOPW, strikeouts per walk, was greater than 4 or equal to 4.3. And his strikes per ball, SSPB, starters strikes per ball, were greater than or equal to 1.8. So I love the fact that all 3 of these parameters are all tied into the Phillies starter's previous start. This was a trend that was shared with me again by the guys at YBB Sports Data on X. So we'll hit the SDQL button. And you can see that the over-under is 0-12, no overs, 12 unders. These games stayed under by an average of more than 3 runs per game. Very nice 88.2% ROI on the under. You can see the average score there. Phillies 2.67, opponents 2.83. So there was only an average of 5.5 total runs scored in those dozen games. And you can see that it is active today with the Phillies on the road in Atlanta against the Braves. And that, my friends, is going to do it for today's MLB Trend Report. Again, if you have any trends or angles you'd like me to look up on today's games, drop them in the comments. I'll get to them when I can. If you have any you found, please drop those in the comments as well. And best of luck on all of your wagers today.